hilarious. Our next guest is Maj Toure from Black Guns Matter. What's going on, man? It's been a minute.
What's going on? How you? I
Doing
ain't
pretty
seen,
good.
I ain't
Doing
talked
pretty
to you
good.
since
Just over here fighting
what,
my people in here.
Dallas?
Huh?
I ain't talked to you since like what, Dallas?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, what has it been Jan? Yeah, the producer says January. My producer keeps tabs on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's been going on, man? So fill us in on what you got going on.
We just came back from classes in Miami and Jacksonville. I got to some warm weather. I think the last time I was like, we were talking about that. But we did the Miami class. That was excellent. So many, like children came out.
Yeah.
Then we drove up to Jacksonville from Miami, and that class was cool too. We linked up and partnered up with Urban Farms down there. They got a real good concept of they turn it like urban areas into
Okay,
like
because that's why I
sustainable
shook. Yeah, that's why I kind of turned my head aside because I think I heard of that before. That's the deal where like in urban environments they're actually building because I know a lot of those places tend to be food deserts.
Yeah.
And so they kind of grow their own crops within the city.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So we linked up with them down there, and that Southern hospitality thing is super real.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. So then we came back to I came back to Miami to kind of like take a day or two.
You picked the perfect city.
So it was like, how can I not? But it was still supportive. I think I'm gonna sneak over to Chicago just by myself and just kind of like be there for a couple of weeks to just be on the ground and like that's crazy over there. So
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that.
Now I know because I think I was as I went to the bathroom during break, I was looking at my phone. I think recently there was a judge. I know it's probably TMI, but whatever. There was a judge that was recently murdered outside of his home, connected to a big case that was going on out there. So when you're dealing with going into environments like that, I know this is kind of an exception in a sense. Like I don't think all the places you go to are like that, but like how do you deal with like going into an environment like that in terms of knowing what you're trying to do, but at the same time understanding the reality on the ground? You get what I'm saying? And maintaining the safety and aspect of all of those things. 'Cause I know it's got to be a bunch of stuff that you have to take into account when you're moving from city to city.
It's a lot of things, especially like in Illinois. I mean, because everything's not reciprocated the same way in certain states. So I usually have friends that are already there and they moving around how they moving around on that side of it. But to be perfectly honest, I don't carry a lot in them cities. I'm deliberately I'm telling people and letting them know that even knowing this, I'm making a conscious decision to sacrifice my safety because that's what I'm doing. And every time I go into a place like that, like Inglewood, Chicago, and I'm not holding, legally, I'm in a different space. Legally, they waiting for somebody to go, oh yeah, you did?
Yeah.
Sure, great, come on with us.
Hence the push for national reciprocity.
Yeah.
Now, with respect to that, with everything that you've done in terms of the tour, what are some of the things that you've taken away from it, just learning in general, that you've pulled out from your personal experience with going? Because you have a unique perspective in the sense of you get to go to different cities that are vastly different from each other, right? And meet so many different people in such a very short period of time. What do you usually pull away from that? What do you walk away from in terms of your experience?
One, the problem is exactly the same everywhere. It's misinformation. It's lack of education. It's a holistic set of the same problems.
Yeah.
And the way that they spin it is the same too. They spin it like, oh, those people over there are just crazy. I'm like, yo, that's like he looks like my cousin. Like, no, he's not crazy. He just doesn't have the information. So that's that. Those things are the same. And I've also learned that a lot of the people aren't really actually that say they're in the Second Amendment community that are trying to do the work. Aren't really trying to do the work. They just trying to sell product, and I'm all for selling product.
Yeah.
But you got to sell product, and you got to help the people. So that's what I'm noticing a lot. It's like everybody wants to talk about, listen, man, my homie ain't gonna have a float tube. I'm sorry, he's not gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can we make it very practical and simple for this demographic? And I think in those areas, a lot of people are missing that. The guys that have so much specialized information that they forget to, reach out to the newbies, or they just leave them, or they think they don't care, and that's just a misconception.
I think, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think sometimes I end up falling into that myself, especially when it comes to this inherently gun knowledge, or for instance, the advocacy portion of it. I wake up and live, eat, breathe this every day. I take in information on a massive level with respect to this issue. And so I think sometimes I start kind of distancing, not purposefully, but just with the amount of information, what seems so common to me, what seems so easy for me to understand and grasp isn't necessarily the case. But then I got to remember, Colion, you've been doing this for years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
sometimes I try to force myself to be able to kind of still be able to kind of talk to people in a way that I'm not going over their head in terms of the issues that we're dealing with in the gun debate,
Right. It's between that and just giving people basic terminology.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
with this NATO, why does those letters even, I did this on Instagram. I was like, hey guys, these 3, rounds right here, these numbers with the X in between them means what? I'll even play myself like I don't know to get those guys to kind of remember, and those women, to remember like, yo, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that have no idea what this language is.
It's a totally different vernacular in and of itself. I mean, I've been in situations before. I'm at a table and they'll ask me a question and I'll just dive right into it, and they're looking like, I don't know what you just said. Like, none of that makes any sense to me.
Right.
So you've got to break that down. Now, in terms of what you do from an experience standpoint, who tends to be more I don't want to think perceptive, but who takes on the knowledge better, the men that you're running into or the women? Or the women? Why do you think that is the case?
The women take the one because they already kind of like our egos. We think I'm a guy. Hold on now, I got this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we take this approach even to 22. Well, it's just a 22. Yeah, okay, so you want me to shoot you in the head with it? So it's like that is absent in women.
Gotcha.
And they initially, some of it comes from like a fear standpoint. The fear creates the respect for the tool because I'm not messing this up. You said keep your finger off the trigger, right? So for me, the women take it in because, dudes we be in our phone. Me too. You know what I'm saying? So really the women, and that's kind of like the new wave that I've been trying to get people to be on is like, yo, you need to holler at even as guys, you need to go holler at that woman instructor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a sister down in Savannah, Tig, Trigger Happy Firearm Instruction.
Yeah, I just recently came across her.
Doing a very good job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me though, it's definitely the women.
The women. Okay. I feel some type of way about that because I was going to say the men. Nah, I'm playing. But so what do you have planned now in terms of going forward and let's say the next year and a half?
We're doing a 50-state tour. It's no longer the 13-city tour. Miami and Jacksonville were our 20th cities. Initially, it was 13, and we ran through that. And everybody's like, yo, why didn't you come? Like, people like really getting at me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yo, let's just do a 50-state tour. So now it's no longer called, the 13-city tour. We raised the GoFundMe goal. First, thank you to everybody that supported. We smashed that $25,000 goal. Thank you, because chunk of that was you personally. You know what I'm saying? So we raised the goal to $150,000. We want to hit every single state. I'm going to Alaska. I'm going to Alaska. You know what I'm saying? And it's just what starts to happen next is we're looking for companies that want to sponsor an entire city so we can get them involved with the product.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. Like, product placement and sales is very important.
Yeah.
We want to make it where politicians see that this is a viable alternative to the prison industrial complex that's dying. We want to show people that just like the marijuana rush happened, this can happen with firearms. With all of these abandoned factories in North Philly, hey, Glock, why don't you come down? Hey, HK, why don't you come down? And now we can create jobs. We can do the same thing with this tax base, because that's what it could be. We can do the same exact thing in this scenario in urban environments and create jobs. No different than you can't find a factory in Denver because of marijuana growth. And the crime rate just, super plummeted.
Yeah.
So that's really what's next between the 50-state tour and getting more people to support and get involved politically.
Yeah.
In essence, I'm kind of turning into an inadvertent politician. You know what I'm saying? And like in a good way.
And I mean, and the whole word politician has a negative connotation to it inherently to a lot of people, and that's just because a lot of people are being bad politicians,
right.
and not necessarily because being a politician is bad. But when you have something in place, you have someone in place that's actually looking out for the people his constituency that he's supposed to be subservient to. You know, that to me then starts to change the talking points with respect to what a politician is. And I think especially from the grassroots standpoint, a lot of politicians haven't done the grassroots thing, you know. So they have an inability to really kind of connect on a fundamental level with their constituency. Everything is at this 30,000-foot view.
Right.
And so
I think that if they kind of like just came out, because then I won't have to do it to that extent. Like if they just go, I want some politicians, pro-gun, anti-gun, just come out to some of the events in the cities, see the babies that are coming, like little and strollers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See even outside of that, you know, we got to make the conversation be, hey, this actually can make America great. Like it did it before. We can utilize this information and these firearms. And even before you get the firearms, what about just holsters?
Yeah.
What about we just manufacture holsters? You know, patches, just little things, and make an entire economy around that and make it mainstream, make it popular culture.
Let me ask you this one question, and we got about 30 seconds left, so I don't know how much time you can answer this question quickly. You brought up something with respect to holsters. I'm taking up all the time with the long-ass question. But how effective, how much do you think pushing the idea of utilization of holsters would help in the way of making gun usage safer in areas where the knowledge that you're spreading hasn't really been kind of pushed out there the way it is now?
It would be excellent, because then guys wouldn't think that Dracos are the only AK that they could have. And it would get them out of that thought process. It was like, okay, now legitimize the pistol that you have, as opposed to just thinking that this Draco that's all over the place is gonna like
don't let me get started on it.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna leave that one for next time, because if I get started on that, we'll be here all day. But no, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Good luck to you with the rest of the tour. I know it's going. I mean, I don't know if the hoodie's gonna do it in Alaska. I don't know what kind of weather they got in Alaska.
It's a 50-50. We got tank tops coming though too. Our whole spring line.
I don't know, man. You might have to partner with our Turks or something, and then get them to come out with a Black Guns Matter, you know, Gore-Tex jacket or something, because it's real in. I'm just letting you know it's real in Alaska. I just want to let you know that.
It's gonna get ugly. We're gonna do Alaska, then Hawaii.
Hawaii, all right, that's smart man. All right, man. You have a good one, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, I'll see y'all.
All right. We're going to take a short break, but after that, we're going to check out some new stuff from Keystone Sporting Arms.